Mrs. Ashbury's First Day of School, written by Rakia Beverly, illustrated by Shaylin Wright. In memory of Grandpa Holt, Grandma Bert, Uncle Tu, Cousin Sharon, and Mrs. Adiwumi, who all played an important role in the life of a child. Mrs. Ashbury couldn't wait to meet her new class of students. After all, she had been planning to meet them since the last day of school the previous school year. Endless nights she researched different ways to greet her students. Good morning, boys and girls, in a giddy voice, or a prestigious good morning, scholars. Either way, everything needed to be perfect. During the summer months, Mrs. Ashbury traveled to many places. She went to Arizona to see the Grand Canyon and experience her first train ride. Even though Mrs. Ashbury enjoyed all of those things, she was still anxious about the first day of school. Should my walls be full of color? Should I use a beach theme? Oh, wait, maybe an owl theme, she thought. Mrs. Ashbury felt the pressure. Time was ticking. The months were flying by, and soon it would be the first day of school. Mom, Dad, I need a new lunchbox, a new backpack, and those cool new pencils I just saw on TV, and new sneakers, too. I need all of it for the first day of school, said Keith. Honey, we have at least a month before school starts. His parents tried everything to calm him down. They went bowling, to the park, and to the movie theater. None of those activities could keep Keith's enthusiasm down, so they decided to take him to music camp. Even when Keith went to music camp, he still kept talking about his first day of school. The camp advisors came up with a song to keep Keith calm. School will start as soon as you know. Dance, laugh, sing to and fro. Singing did not help either. The camp advisors decided to talk to Keith's parents when they picked him up from camp. Your camper talked about the first day of school every second of every day, they said. Keith just smiled. On the way back from music camp, Keith only had one thing on his mind, and that was school. While riding, Keith began to daydream of all the new things he was going to learn when school started. Keith's daydream was suddenly interrupted when he heard boom! His parents yelled out, "Flat tire!" That was not the news Keith wanted to hear. In a panic, he started asking questions. Will I be able to make it to the first day of school? Will I be able to meet my new teacher? Calm down, his parents insisted. They explained to him that a flat tire would only take a few minutes to change, and they would be back on the road in no time. They assured Keith that he would be able to make it to the first day of school and meet his new teacher. Days and days passed by. Both Keith and Mrs. Ashbury were counting down. Only 3 days left until the first day of school. Just 3 days left. Mrs. Ashbury had her checklist of things. Bulletin board, check. Names on desk, check. Keith had his checklist also. Lunchbox, check. Backpack, check. Only 2 days left. Mrs. Ashbury had added more to her checklist. Laminating cutout, check. Reading center organized, check. Keith added more to his checklist also. Uniform, check. Sneakers, check. Just 1 day left until school starts on Monday. Mrs. Ashbury's list only had 2 things left to check off. A new dress? Check. And her best smile? Check, check, check. Keith's list had one item left to check off. Go to bed early. Check. The classroom was fully decorated with a nautical theme. Every desk was labeled with student names. The whiteboard had "Welcome to your first day of school" in green writing with a beautiful picture of an anchor. Mrs. Ashbury stood at the door and greeted all of her students, even Keith. They both froze. Simultaneously, they both said, "I've been waiting for this day. I always get excited for the first day of school. I'm so glad to meet you." All of the students paused and watched as Mrs. Ashbury and Keith said the same exact thing. By the time they stopped talking, all the kids burst into a cheer. "It's going to be a great year!" All of the students in Mrs. Ashbury class enjoyed their first day of school, especially Keith. He shared his dreams and his interests with his new classmates. He also drew a picture of his family. His favorite part of the day was telling his friends about music camp and how he almost did not make it to the first day of school because of a flat tire. When the bell rang and school dismissed, Keith could not wait to get home. While throwing down his backpack on the sofa, he told his parents everything. He told them how his teacher felt just as anxious as he did for the first day of school to arrive. "Mom, Dad, my teacher and I froze in time." "Slow down, Keith. You are talking too fast," said his mom. "Mom, it was so cool. We said the same exact thing at the same exact time." His parents giggled. "Wow, it sounds like you enjoyed your first day of school." Keith shouted a big yes. After that conversation, Keith and his parents knew it was going to be a great year. Mrs. Ashbury knew it would be a great year too.